Everybody in? Everybody, I think was in the waiting room for Beyond Beginner Ukulele. So can I start? Is it okay to begin? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right. Last week, we used Can't Help Falling in Love as a guinea pig song for these different strum patterns. They're a little more involved, once we get into three. Somebody commented last week about Cynthia Lynn having Can't Help Falling in Love. I think she did a tutorial on finger picking. And so it's really cool to be able to recognize what it is she was doing according to a strum pattern. Strum pattern is simply a rhythmic pattern, the same way that finger picking and finger style playing, they're just rhythmic patterns, okay? So when you can get your right hand, your right arm, your right wrist to keep time, it's actually activating in your brain the ability to keep this rhythm, whether it's strummed, if it's picked, or if you're going to use finger style. Okay, finger style is like a combination of strum, or like a hybridized kind of strum and picking. Okay, and your more advanced players are going to be able to do chord melody using finger style. Okay, so we used Can't Help Falling in Love and applied to it. I think we went up to pattern 4. Does anybody have any comments about what you practiced so far from last week? Anybody? Anybody want to give a demo on what you've learned? No volunteers, huh? No, nobody's waving their hands. Nobody's saying, I'll do it. Okay. No? Anybody? Anybody saying they want to do it? Where's Evie when you need her? She's always gung-ho for this kind of stuff. Okay. All right. So, did anybody go beyond? I think we agreed that we were going to do up to 4. Did anybody go past it and try to do the different strums? And did anybody encounter some problems? Who's that? Is that? I can't see the names. Okay. Hey, can you take your mute down? Yeah. Can you unmute yourself? There we go.
Oh, you want me to play something?
Yeah. What did you do? Were you able to play beyond strum pattern 4?
I went to 6, I think.
Okay. Did you have any difficulties with transitions?
I have to keep counting.
That's good. That's good. What's good is that you don't abandon the need to count, okay? Because it takes time and practice. So can we hear what you've done?
Okay.
Whichever pattern you want.
Down number 6.
Okay. So that's for everybody. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Very good. Okay. Was that you notice that it's a little different between the measures? The first measure is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. The second measure is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So it's kind of a combination. That was a trick. I put that in there as a trick because you would think that it was identical to number 5, but in fact it was not. It was a little different. Yeah. So that's really good. Thank you. That's really helpful. Now, remember I also indicated to you all, and I hope you were able to download the replacement sheet where the bridge, the E minor and the B7 are sharing a measure, right? So when chords share a measure, you will usually assign it the first 2 beats or quarter beats and their subdivided values. You would assign the first chord beats 1 and 2, and the second chord beats 3 and 4, right? A river flows slowly to the sea, right? So each was assigned 2 beats for the same measure, and your replacement sheet should reflect that, so that the measure marker before the B7, that should have been removed. So that was in the last updated set of handouts for you, okay? Now, did anybody go to number 7? Number 7, which is the common strum pattern. Most people play it. I just covered this with the beginner ukulele group. It's the most common: down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now, when I play the bridge section, which is, I think that's the most challenging section of this song, and I applied to it this pattern. It has a completely different effect. Completely different effect because of the missing 3rd beat. You notice that? Right? That beat number 3 is missing. And remember what the rule is, the general rule, unless it's indicated otherwise on a written score, that the second chord in a measure will take the 3rd beat. The 3rd beat. But there is no 3rd beat, or downbeat, I should say. Downbeat 3. There is none on pattern 7. So what do we do? Well, I've always struggled with this when I try to apply what for me doesn't come more naturally. Okay, so as I go through this, I realized that I can compensate for this missing 3rd downbeat by playing the upbeat of 2. Okay, like river flows. If I slow it down, right? But here we go. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, like a river flows slowly to the sea. Yeah, it just throws things off. It really, really does. So I realized that to make things easier, why don't we take an alternate pattern for just this bridge section, where we can use this pattern number 7 for the verses, and then take, say, pattern number 3 and apply it to the bridge. So right there, we've created a new arrangement of this song by simply changing a strum pattern instead of holding on to a pattern that would prove to be awkward to play. Okay, so this is what I came up with this song. And I'm just going to do the intro part of it, and then we can go through this together. And I have to play this really slow, okay? And I'm going to use the strum pattern 7 for the intro and the verses, and then again, bridge pattern 3 for the bridge, okay? And anybody notice something? Anybody notice something? That I couldn't really change the second chord using this strum pattern. Yeah, because of the absence, the third beat is missing. But if I change the second chord on the upbeat of 2, then it was easier. So let me say it out loud. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and. Right? So down, down, up, down, up. Notice that I did that. Down, down, up on the G7. Down, down, up, down, up. So I assigned the second chord, the G7, I assigned it the upbeat of 2. Down, down, up, down, up. F, F, G7, G7. F, F, G7. Try that. Down, down, G7, up, down, up. Down, down, G7. Now it fits. Now it fits. And I think actually for those of us who have played this song using that pattern, that's exactly where we were making our changes. We just never realized it. And then the rules that we've been covering in terms of these strum patterns can change slightly, okay, to accommodate what we're playing. Does it change the melody? It didn't really change the melody. Everything was supported rhythmically, so, okay? Anybody have any questions? I have a feeling that some people would probably get lost trying to explain this, because if the rule has been that we've been following, is that that second chord changes on the third, on downbeat 3, this particular pattern forces a change on the chord on the upbeat of 2. Okay? So let me run through this really quick. I'm doing 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Back to the 7. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So it's just a little different. It's just a little different. So you imagine there are so many more strum patterns that can be applied, and your sense of rhythm has to actually accommodate this, right? And when I listened to 21 Pilots, that's the name of the band, 21 Pilots, they took this song and they applied this particular pattern, 7, to this song, but they did it really fast. So it's a good idea to talk about dynamics, okay? When a song speeds up, the energy of the song changes as well. It also means that your playing is going to change up as well. It's going to kind of cover areas rhythmically that it didn't before, okay? Just by speeding it up. Yeah, very different, huh? When you hear it fast, because there's overlapping sounds that actually kind of cover that up. Okay? All right, any questions about this? None? Good. Okay, so let's get into triplets. We talked about triplets before, and this is actually easier to work with because, and you notice that in this strum pattern, I only provided one measure instead of 2, mostly because of space considerations. There just wasn't enough room. But it's just continual, all right? So when we're counting or sounding this out, with triplets, it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, okay? So you notice that the beat is what precedes the triplet. Another way that it's counted out is 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. There is actually another way of saying it as well. It's triplet, 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 triplet. I find it easier to call out the number. Okay? Some people like triplet, 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 triplet. All right? And the style of the strum is a short type of strum. Yeah? Now what am I doing? I'm almost making a snap with the wrist. And I'm only contacting string 4 and 3. For you beginners, we covered earlier today the grazing of the index fingernail against the wood, the sound wood, or what is also called tone wood. The tone wood, then the neck, then the string, right? So wood, neck, string, wood, neck, string, wood, neck. So what you're doing is you're actually teaching the wrist how to control the movement. It's the wrist that delivers the finger, right? It's the wrist that goes up and down. How much it goes up and down determines what strings this finger, your index finger, is going to touch. So if I just have a snapping motion in my wrist, that'll give me a short strum, small strum. Okay, and you notice I don't know if you can tell on the screen or not, but I'm snapping, just a little snap. Because every time you strum, whether it's down or up, you have to recover from that strum in order to play the next strum. So this being a quick moving strum pattern, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, you need to recover very quickly, right? So that's why this pattern is set up so that you have a small strum, big strum, and then an up strum. Right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Down, down, up. 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 Right? So practice this. Short strum, full strum, full up strum. Right? So you're back to where you need to be for the next strum. Right? Short strum. Keeps the finger up here for the next big down strum. Brings the finger all the way down to below the neck. Comes up full strum. You're now ready for the short little strum. Down, down, up, 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 down, down, up. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Triplet, 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 triplet. Okay? Everybody comfortable with that? I see a few people nodding their heads like, yeah, this is a cool thing to learn. Triplets are really cool. I love triplets. They're really something. Right? If your objective is speed, that's where you want to go. Let's stay with some chords real quick before we go to Can't Help Falling in Love. So let's do a C, A minor, F, G7 pattern, okay? And we'll play a whole measure for each chord. And let's hear it percussively first. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay? All right, so let's try it with a C, A minor, F, G7 chord progression. And whatever way you're comfortable calling them out, I'm gonna just call out 1 triplet, 2 triplet, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, A minor. 4 triplet, F, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 7. 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, back to C. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, F triplet, 3 triplet, triplet, 7 triplet. How's that feel? That feels pretty good, huh? All right. So what does Elvis sound like doing Can't Help Falling in Love with a triplet accompaniment? Right? So remember, it's each has its own measure. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 8 triplet, da 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 da. Sounds pretty good, huh? I like that. It's really nice. And if we slow it down, what happens if we slow it down? 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I say, would it be if I can't help falling in love with you, like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. We'll go back to the verse, an instrumental. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, down, down, up, 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 down. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet. Here we go again. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you, for I can't help falling in love with you. I think of all the patterns, I think this is the one I like the best because it just has a nice feel to it, nice lumbering feel to it. Yeah. Any questions? Anybody? I think that all the microphones are off. I can't really tell. Can't really see, guys. So please pardon me. I'm squinting as I'm looking at everything. So are there any questions? I think I saw questions earlier. Are there any questions, Susan? Can you see? And not everybody's hands, not everybody's images are there, so.
It's me, Sue.
Okay, Sue, go ahead.
I have a question. Ted records these lessons, right? How do I access the lessons so I could repeat some parts?
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. I know I've seen it because, I scroll through YouTube all the time and then boom, I see my face like, oh my gosh, there I am. Shoot. Yeah, so they post it up, I guess the next day. I think it's the next day.
So ACC, just as ACC.
Yeah, do a search. Yeah, I think it says ACC Beginner Ukulele or Beginning Ukulele. I think that's the title of it. So you can look, I guess there's a whole bunch of them. I try never to look at myself on video. Don't like that. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else? Anybody else? Do you see anything? You're all good? What time is it now? Oh, it's only 5:30. Wow. That's cool. Okay. So, guys, as I said earlier, this strum pattern exercise is about you developing rhythm of the right hand, the rhythm in the ear, right? Which means everything is heading to your brain because it's your brain that's in charge of the ear, brain in charge of your hands, brain that's in charge of the rhythm, okay? Whatever feel or groove you got, soul, R&B, that kind of thing, whatever you got, that's inside of you. And it actually informs your brain how it is you want to do things. All right, so these strum patterns should be just the beginning of what it is you like to do or will like to do as you develop your skills in terms of how you express yourself musically. All right, so and it took me many, many years as a player of, 61 years now I've been playing ukulele since I started it at age 4, and now I'm 65. Doggone it. Never dreamt that day would come. Oh, it's amazing to me. And so anyway, but it took me years to understand this, okay? How everything is really all integrated. They're individual techniques, they're individual skills that you have that should inform the other skills. They should inform the skills that are not yet fully developed. But what's amazing is that it's all very integrated, because as you begin informing the other lesser developed skills, the skill that you're using to apply is enhanced as well. Okay? So you cannot help but get better as you apply yourself. Listening is probably the greatest skill that you have when it comes to playing music. Listening. Hearing beats, hearing the pulses of songs, the rhythms that are being played against the melody of a singer, or the melody that's being plinked out on your instrument, okay? What's the bass line doing? Can you hear a bass line? That's a very important part of a song when it's present, if it's done correctly, because it fills gaps. It also lays down kind of like a carpet for your song, okay? So having a nice bass line is a tremendous boon. So if you have the great blessing of working with other musicians, with other instruments, or if you have an inclination to, for instance, pick up an ukulele bass so that you can fill where other persons are playing different strum patterns, go for it. That's only going to make you a better musician. I try to play bass every once in a while if they allow me to, because I have a tendency to just kind of slap my way through everything, because I move more towards like an R&B style when it comes to playing bass. So they usually take the bass away from me and give me back my ukulele or my guitar, okay? Because I'm a little too raucous, I think. But it's always good because that just says these are where your rhythms are, right? And once you hear a song, you can't unhear the song. You just have to be able to tap into the song, tap into your brain. What did your brain hear? And it's there. It just has to come out. It's part of the reason why when I play, I try to emulate the different instruments that I've heard, including drums, okay? Percussion, drums, bass line, rhythm guitar, piano, even what the singer's doing, okay? To be able to copy that and integrate it. That's what makes a song recognizable when it's played without singing, or it's being played rhythmically to accompany a singer. So these strum patterns are indicative of rhythm, okay? So the next thing that I wanted to cover today, and there is no handout for this, at least not yet, because as as you progress with me, I am then applying what it is we're learning together and doing together, and then really coming up with what's the next step or what's the next phase for you all. And nobody ever tells me that I want to do this or I want to do that. So I'm left to my own devices. So if you have any ideas, please share them with me, because I'd love to incorporate them. But again, when we look at these strum patterns, we see rhythmic patterns. If we took pattern number 1, which is just the quarter beats, and we applied them using a finger style. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rhythmically, they're the same, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So what you do with your strumming hand, you can also do with your picking hand. Same hand, same right hand. All right, so how do we get you there? If we just look at strum pattern 1 and say it's a finger picking pattern 1, the obvious segue into it would be to look at our home position. For those of you who have been with this workshop from the very beginning, I told you that your home positions for the left hand, right? Thumb behind fret 2, between strings 2 and 3. That's your home position, with your fingers ready, with a push of the elbow and the curvature of the wrist to deliver your fingers where they need to be on the fretboard. That's your home position, right? So you got to be ready for all of this to be happening in the front. Home position for the right hand, thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger on the 4 strings. Thumb on string 4, index finger on string 3, ring finger on string 2, and I said middle finger on string 2, and then your ring finger on string 1. Okay? So I think the most basic is going to be 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah? 4, 3, 2, 1. String numbers 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? And back to home position. If you're going to practice this, get used to this home position. Tell yourself, home, okay? Home position. That means your thumb and the fingers are going to be above the sound hole, not on the neck. This is where strumming happens. Picking is here, okay? As your starting point, your foundation. It's here. I want you to notice something. Look at my thumb. My thumb is forward. It's ahead of the fingers. The fingers are more lined up together, okay? And we have different anatomies, every single one of us. So some people will have a more arch to their fingers. They might have the thumb way more ahead, okay? But try to make everything kind of crouch together if you can. So there are some people I know with really super long fingers, and so their fingers are like way behind here, you know? But what you want to be able to do is the thumb, here the pad of the thumb is on the side of string 4. It's on the side of it, This is what guarantees that when you pluck this string, you're going to get your pad to do it, the thumb pad, the side here, if that's how your finger is oriented. If you were playing classical guitar, you might learn how to use your thumbnail. Okay? On these little ukuleles, I think it has a nicer sound when you use the pad. All right, same thing with the fingers. The fingers are oriented here over the sound hole, and they should be underneath their strings, their assigned strings. So my index finger is resting on top of this third string, yet it's still a little bit underneath it. This ensures that I can pluck up. Same thing with the middle and the ring. Okay? So the movement is up, not down, it's up. You're going to pluck up, up. And some folks need to develop the muscle memory to have the thumb and the fingers work together at the same time, to pluck at the same time. That's foundational. Okay? Pluck at the same time and then return to the home position. Try doing that without looking. Just doing it by feel, and return the fingers to their home positions. Okay? And you don't need to beat up your ukulele. Just do it nice and gentle. Okay? So you want one cohesive movement, one organic sound. So it is very different when you listen to this because you're hearing the notes ring out at the same time. Unlike a strum, you're not hearing the notes at the same time. You're hearing them one at a time versus plucking together. So if let's take an F chord and strum the F chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's go to home position for plucking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very different, huh? It's a different experience for the ear. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little more difficult to distinguish the notes from one another. If you have a low G ukulele, you're probably going to be hearing your A above here, the low A. For those of us who are using today high G ukuleles, I hear more of the A on the bottom here. Because, and that's natural because the A that's on top here on fret 2 is exactly the same voicing as the open A on the bottom. So there's less resonance that you're hearing. All right, so that's the foundation, home position. And you should learn in this home position how to play your chords, right? Let's do C, A minor, F, G7, and let's do quarter beats on plucking, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor. 2, 3, 4. F. 2, 3, 4. G7. 2, 3, 4. Back to C. 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. F. 2, 3, 4. G7. 2, 3, 4. Back to C. All right? So we just did strum pattern 1. Right? Now you can say that you can do picking pattern 1 using this as our guide. Okay? All right. So that's, I think we have time to go even to strum pattern number 2. excuse me, where we're doing 8 beats. And let's just use the same strum progression, the chord progression, C, A minor, F, G7. But let's talk about this a little bit. Now, strum pattern 2 is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and, okay? Now, what does it sound like when it's picked or plucked? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and slow down, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Put an accent on 1, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Somebody's got a question in the corner there. Susan, can you speak up? I think you're yeah, good. Thank you. Go ahead.
The accent is on 1 and 3, right?
No, not necessarily. Just for this exercise of going through this, what I said was put the accent on 1. When you're practicing this on your own, then you put the accent wherever you want on whatever beat you want, okay? But for this exercise, for this workshop exercise, since this is a new plucking pattern, okay? So let's just put the accent on 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? You can change it up any way you like. All you're doing is 8th beats. So you can assign the accent the way you wish. Okay? Okay, so that's your fundamentals. And now let's take the actual picking. One other thing too, some folks are comfortable planting their pinky on the soundboard when they go into the home position for plucking and picking. Okay, not everybody's comfortable with it, mostly because these instruments are so small, and the distance between the strings can be kind of tight depending on what kind of instrument you're using. Okay, so if you're looking to stabilize your hand, to keep it still, then I would suggest that you plant your pinky on the soundboard. If you're not planning on using it, then it's okay. Otherwise, you can train your forearm to stay in position. Okay, and you might have to force your forearm down a little bit more on the butt of the ukulele here. Okay, just as long as your forearm is delivering your fingers over the sound hole, you're good. Okay, so let's go back to strum pattern 1, and let's use our thumb and fingers to pluck out the quarter beats. So that will be thumb on 4, index on 3, middle on 2, and ring on 1. All right, so let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's use our chord progression. C, A minor, F, G7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, G7, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, back to C. A minor. F. G7. Back to C. It's pretty, huh? That's not too bad. That's not too bad, is it? How are we going to do the strum pattern 2? One and two and three and four and one and two. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right. So all we've done is we've subdivided what we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right. So it's a little different, huh? But fortunately, there's only 4 strings. If we had more strings, then it would be probably different patterns that we could apply to this. But this is just to get you used to moving those fingers. Yeah, moving those fingers along. Now, what I've done so far and what you guys are doing right now, until you're comfortable with this, right? What you're going to find as you practice more is that it's going to become smoother sounding as you become more comfortable with where these strings are. Okay, and can you accent? Of course you can. 1. Yeah, you can accent. You can accent any one of those beats that you like. But make sure you practice so you get your basic rhythms down. All right? So how does this sound in terms of applying this to Can't Help Falling in Love? If we just took the intro, we only have time to cover the intro. But what we've covered so far today, you can certainly be practicing on your own at home so that you can begin to absorb this and start applying it. And as we move into this realm of playing, what we want to be able to do is to take these techniques and merge them, apply them, use them differently to create different texturing in our songs. Okay, so hold on now. Let's look at strum pattern 1. Here I am in poem position. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's different. Doesn't it sound better if we used eighth strums? Or the eighth beats? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. I like that better. That might be the better challenge. Okay? So let's apply picking pattern number 2. And I'll do the intro. And I'll count it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Sounds pretty good, huh? Okay. Hey, any questions? Any questions, folks? You think you guys can? I'm sure you guys can. All of you have a good handle on rhythm. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a question about, it's not about this particularly, but my hand starts hurting. Are there exercises or massages that you recommend
Yes.
before and after?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mostly before, okay? It's really important. Make sure that you're stretching. Stretch your hands out. You stretch your fingers out this way as best you can. It's necessary for you to stretch these ligaments and tendons in here. If you haven't been playing long, your hands do have to adapt to extended periods of playing. So make sure that you're stretching. And you see here, I don't know if you notice the orientation of my fingers. They're really quite bent, right? They're bowed this way. My right hand is not as bowed. It can't be because it hasn't done as much fretting. It hasn't done any fretting actually with this, okay? So you want to have this kind of a scoop here. If you can do that, that will help you. Because what's important about doing this is being able to stretch the tendons and ligaments out enough so that when you have to form your chords, you can shape them this way. Yeah? You want an arch, as much as you can get an arch over the fretboard. Okay? If that hurts, stop immediately. Don't continue, okay? If it hurts, don't do that. All right? And the thumb, remember the thumb is really important. I also rotate my thumb this way. As I'm getting older, I notice that I'm developing arthritis in my thumb. So all the more I'm doing this rotation. The massaging too, that's important because as we get older, the synovial fluid that normally lubricates our joints, it lessens. We don't produce as much. But we can kind of help that process along by doing these little massages. That helps to lubricate the joints as well. Okay? So do that. And also try to float your fingers this way. I wish I was a hula dancer. I never learned how to hula. But I see these girls when they do that. Oh my gosh, that all that so graceful. So do that. Do that as well, okay? And when you lift up your arm this way, you know where you're going to feel it? You're going to feel it up here in this area where the deltoid connects to the bicep. That's necessary too because remember what we've covered before, the strength of your chord forming does not come from your fingers. It is sent to the fingers by the bicep, the deltoid sometimes, the forearm, the wrist, and then into the thumb. Okay, so the stuff that's happening behind the ukulele, very important to keep your chord formation strong and well-toned, okay? So when you're doing these exercises, make sure that you're exercising the back, these muscles here too, okay, as best you can. And then I have some other older students, and they soak their hands in a little bit of warm water too, just to keep things limber. I should start doing that actually, and it's not a bad idea to do that. But I'm always doing this. I'm always doing that, just kind of rotating my hand around to keep my forearm strong, keep my bicep flexible, moving. So do that. Some folks I know they use like rubber balls. They're not really tough balls, but they do help with the gripping. Another term for chords is grips. What's the grip? That's actually a piano term. When they learn how to play chords, form chords, those are grips, particularly in British training. Okay, so do that. Do with your right hand. Do this as well. Okay. There's some really cool exercises that Aldrin Guerrero does, because before he became so devoted to playing ukulele, he's a classically trained guitarist. So classical guitarists do all kinds of finger exercises, because the independence of the fingers is quite key to their playing. All right, so you can do that too. You're going to start picking up more of these picking and finger style patterns. Finger independence is extremely important okay? But that is something that develops over time. So you want to prepare your muscles. This helps with your muscle memory to develop as well, okay? And if anybody has any questions, if you've asked questions and I've not fielded them, feel free to email me. There you go. Who's that? Esther, hey. I can't hear you.
You're on mute, Esther.
Okay, yeah. Unmute yourself, Esther. No, you have to unmute yourself. You haven't. Okay, there you go.
Do you pluck up also? Pluck down and then pluck up?
No. When you're in your home position, your plucking takes place underneath the string for the fingers. The thumb is over the string. So you're underneath the string but from the top. When you're plucking with your fingers, you're on the string but your pads are also underneath from here, right? And it's an upward movement. The thumb is a downward movement. Okay? So get used to that, Dwell on this home position. Really get to understand it. Do it in the dark. I keep telling you guys that. Play in the dark. Play in the dark. And you get to know yourself really well, when it comes to playing your instrument. You play in the dark or play in a dark room so that you're not getting into the habit of constantly checking yourself instead of having your ear tell you what you're doing, your fingers telling your brain what you're doing, and your fingers informing the ear and then the ear informing the brain, okay? Do that. That will help you, okay? All right, so if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me or text. I believe you guys all have my email address. It's on the documents, the handouts that I've sent out as well. Okay? All right, guys, thank you very much. Have a wonderful time. Okay? Can't believe it's almost the end of May. Amazing. Gosh.
So fast.
I know it is. It's moving really quick. Okay. You guys have a cool time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Don't forget tomorrow night's concert.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right. Thank you.